What is your goddamn problem? He's supposed to come in the room. You said you're in the room.
I thought I was
You're
in. I forgot to
waiting.
hit join.
You're hitting 8 minutes. I'm waiting.
I was waiting too, Gary. I was
Better
waiting
be.
too. Are we already recording?
You goddamn right. I have a hard out.
Well, here we are then. Guys, welcome to the Jeff Richards Show. My name is Jayson Thibault. I'm filling in for Jeff, and I'm very excited to be interviewing somebody that I've been watching on film and television for what feels like my entire life. Because going through your filmography here, some of these films were before I was even born. What an illustrious career, and I can't wait to talk to the great Gary Busey, everybody.
Well, if you take five and you add five and you add 10 and you add 10 and you got 20, you got infinite kindness, you got infinite gratuity. And through that, you can find something that's perpetual inside of you. Like you're drinking that coffee, there's something spiritual about that. So I think my departure and my entree in were almost the same thing, and they're almost on the same day.
It's actually tea. It's not coffee. But I hear what you're saying. What you essentially now you're a very big guy. About I've been looking up a lot of your videos and stuff. You're really into meditation. You're really into being present. You've gotten some sort of later on in life, or maybe in your career, or I guess they're both intertwined. Became very spiritual, much more than you were earlier in your days. What caused that? Was it because you had a motorcycle accident in
Nothing causes
1988?
anything. Nothing
Yeah,
causes anything.
yeah.
If you look at something and there's nothing there, what's the difference of figuring out what it was in the first place? I mean, these are metaphors. By the way, what is your name? I didn't even get your name. I
My
didn't get
name
your
is
name.
Jayson Thibault. My friends call me Teeb or Teebs, and Mr. Busey. You can call me anything you want, buddy.
Well, earlier I was going to call you an asshole because I don't know why you were waiting. If it says click join, you click join. Am I wrong?
You turned out to be dead right with that. I haven't used this whatever this service is that you and Jeff are using here, and it looked like I was in, and I was waiting to join, and I forgot to hit the old join button there. So I do apologize to you. I know you're a busy guy. I don't want to waste your time, sir.
Apology accepted. It reminds me when I was in the movie Buddy Holly. I was like, there were, there were, there were catering jobs and there
Yeah,
were no catering jobs, and I did a catering job. This must have been like 3 years before it in the same area, and that can be a problem. And you must understand that you go to Chinatown, you get nunchucks. Well, now you can't get nunchucks. Before you get nunchucks,
yeah.
and they hit yourself on the hand, you go numfucks because it hurt, but you didn't want to say ow or anything like that. You just said. So this is the divine intervention. You could become a spiritual guru on your own, but you just have to tie your shoes and you just have to know how to eat burritos backwards.
Is that your go-to place for nunchucks? Is that Chinatown or what? You said you can't get them there anymore.
You
What's
got to
what's
eat burritos backwards. You
How
didn't
would
even
one do
catch
that?
that. A good reporter would have asked me about burritos.
I'm not anywhere near a good reporter, but I do have some hard-hitting questions I want to get to.
I want to
Are
get to burritos. I want to
How
talk
would you
about
eat a burrito
burritos.
backwards?
You eat it
There's
backwards. The leaky part starts going first. And
So you go
rather
right in the
than
middle.
rather than tend to that and have a bite out of the leaky part, you go on the other part, the dry wrap part, and it gives you almost no time to eat the leaky part. And it's just a fun little game you can play with yourself.
Kind of like a beat the clock while you're eating a burrito.
You beat whatever you want. I don't know. I'm married
Are you married? How many times have you been married, Gary Busey?
a few times.
What's a few? Three? More than three or less than
If I
three?
get into numbers, then what am I getting into facts for? Do I look like a native Navajo Indian? Do I look like I'm trying to claim my land back? I already have my land. I live in Malibu. And if I
You,
lose my land, that's okay because sand is the only witness of the divine preacher. If you can see it, you can feel it, and if you can touch it, you better take it back tomorrow if you have your receipt.
that's that's actually great advice from Gary Busey right there. Now I want to ask you a couple questions about your career. In researching you, which didn't take wasn't too long to do because I mean everybody must know everything about Gary Busey. You've been in all of our lives forever. You're still a member of Stunts Unlimited, and this says here that you still do all of your own stunts. Is that true?
I do much of my own stunts. Uh, I won't do all my stunts, but then again, I haven't had a stunt that was that difficult in rear history. If I was doing a comedy or I was put in front of somebody like Ben Stiller and they said trip on that little ledge but don't fall. You know what? I would first fall. I'd go down there, put my body as if I had fallen, understand the symmetry of that,
Yeah.
get back up there, put my head safely wherever they want it, and do the stunt over and over again. It didn't matter to me. People wanted me to lose my mind, but I wasn't going to do it.
Oh, is that right? What's the most difficult stunt that they said, "Hey, we Gary Busey, we want you to do this stunt," and you go, "That is where I draw the line right there."
Well, one
What's a stunt
such
you wouldn't do?
there's scenes I try to put into movies. Let's just say there's a scene I try to put into a movie. So I say to the director, I know that I only have so many scenes, and I have so much time to do the scenes. But hey, here's another scene I thought we could do if we could add it. And it was a scene where I was wearing female lingerie, and he wouldn't go for it, but I went for it on my break, and I love wearing that stuff.
On your break, so you weren't even shooting during that time.
I wasn't even shooting that day.
And that, wow, that's a, and that stunt was one that crossed the line for you there.
Not necessarily.
Okay, all right. Well,
By the way, when is this interview going to start?
we're in about 10 minutes. About 10 minutes, then we're going to kickstart it.
Because I got to get going pretty soon.
Yeah. What's an average day like for old Gary Busey? You're living over there in
24
Malibu.
24 hours, 24 days. I was put into a concentration camp once.
Jesus, I'm sorry about that.
It was a short film by a gentleman by the name of Asa Fuego. And we were eating chili corn dogs almost all night. And he said to me at one point, he said, "Do you think they ever get better than this?" I said, I think they're getting as good as they can get. I don't think he liked that answer. But you're from Indiana.
Originally, yes, sir. Indiana, home of David Letterman. You've been on Letterman's show a bunch of times. Yeah, and you're from Texas, sir.
That's right. I'm from Texas. I'm Goose Creek, Texas. Yep.
You're a
Born
big Texas
1940.
guy. You love the Cowboys. I've seen you on the sidelines. I'm a big NFL guy. I've seen you on the sidelines of a lot of Cowboys games. You still rooting for your old Dallas Cowboys there?
Well, I played center. I played guard, and I played with myself. No, that's a joke. That's a joke we used to tell when I was getting ready to. I was going to almost join the Marines until I heard it was so tough. I don't know why I didn't get that information sooner, but I should have figured it out at some point.
Yeah, that's pretty standard knowledge. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I have nothing to say. I really don't have much to say. I should have gone pee before I sat down, and now I'm sort of battling this. In Goose Creek, they used to call it. You were battling the sack. You're holding a beanie bag in one hand, and you're holding a goldfish in the other, and the two are never going to get near each other because you'd never even think of doing such a thing.
Yeah. If I'm honest, I've never, ever even thought of doing that, let alone been in a situation with a, goldfish in a beanbag.
So you were going to interview me. So I come here and then I just talk. You make me feel stupid.
Well, I
You're
got a
gonna
handful of questions, but
you got a couple of questions, then you touch your face like that. What do you putting a tattoo on your face?
I was thinking about it, but then I decided, no. How about we get to the questions? Here's a question that I have for you.
No, wait, stop. I don't want to do the questions now.
Okay. You got another
Tell me
hot
about
story?
you. Tell me about you, Jayson Thibault. Tell me why is there a Y in the word Jason? You're doing that.
There's a Y in my name because my mother thought that people would start calling me Jay, and then no one ever did, which was kind of her responsibility if you think about it. She was the first person I knew, so I'm like, you should have been the one calling me Jay, bitch. Never did.
Or just maybe name you Jay.
There's it was kind of her call. But I think she rolled the dice on the rest of the world. And nobody called me Jay. So there it is. That's
well, maybe that makes you more knowledgeable. Maybe that makes you more wise in the world that has wise, has women, has wine, has wise. Women and wise and men and lies.
Have you written any poetry? I think it sounds like to me that you would be a big poetry guy.
No. Well, I do poetry. I do Buseyisms.
Okay. Well, I guess that's
Buseyisms like
yeah.
clock. Like let's say, take the word clock,
Sure.
or maybe not that one because I've never done that one. How about toy?
Sure.
No, that one I don't know either.
Well, yes.
How about
You really haven't done much
Canada?
poetry.
Canada, blue, COO. I sound like, now I feel like I'm doing an impression of Biden. Uh, BOOC. I don't recall any of my Buseyisms. How about kite?
Yeah.
Uh, I
Perhaps
just
you have.
can't do it. I've never been put on the spot by my own beat of my own drum. But
Well,
I just
along
let
those
me try.
lines of beat of your own drum, in Academy nominated, by the way, for your role as Buddy Holly. You did your own singing in that film, and I was wondering if you still, if you tinker around with instruments, you ever thought about putting a CD out of new music, or do you do original songs as well, or was that just for that movie and that was it?
I have a band I do. It's called Ditto Kiddo. It's EDM music,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just sort of non sequiturs. It kind of sounds like Pet Shop Boys or Morrissey, any of that kind of garbage. And we just kind of go for it. And it's hard and it's fast and it's hopefully before your husband gets home. It's
So it's just for the wives or
it's
gay
for the
men.
people that understand. Well, but this is what reporters do. This is what you like to do, right? Like to put me out on an ice barge. There's a defined frequency that's not necessarily the frequency you want it to be, but it serves a purpose. It's like that movie, like you can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth. The truth, son. We live in a world that has walls. This thing, and I don't think we do live in a world that has walls. I think that we live in a world that has frequency.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Go under the creek, find a ball, come back up, discover it all, back and forth. Sandy and Louise, I will take you to, somewhere else, some other sort of. I can never finish them. This is the
Yeah.
problem with my Busey is I can never remember them and I can never finish them. Let's try another one.
Yeah.
Like
Okay. Let's get
stop.
let's see one. What do you
You
got?
give me one. Let me see if I can do it. If you give me one.
Uh, Hope.
Hope. Holly. Holly. These are harder than I thought they were going to be. I really can't do it.
We can move on. We don't have to stick with the Buseyisms. I have now. Now I know you're like, I'm not a journalist. I'm good friends with Jeff Richards. He couldn't make it, so he asked me to step in and interview you. So I apologize for my sophomoric antics here. But
And for the
I
fact
did
that we
ask
tried to
around for,
record, the fact that we had to record all day, and you didn't even say why you had to, why couldn't you do this at 2?
because I was putting up a tent for my buddy's kid's graduation.
You said that proudly.
Well, I'm pretty proud of him, and I like helping out my
Are you
buddy.
proud of
But
the tent? Maybe if you use that voodoo witchcraft on your own trade, you'd find somewhere on the other end of the snake pit. I mean, do you know what a revolutionary soldier looks like? Have you seen photographs? Have you seen paintings? Have you seen charcoal sketches?
not really, if I'm honest. Describe one.
I haven't seen them either.
Well, they're pretty elusive then. I have a question now. I got some questions that some fans wanted me to ask some people. I said I was going to be interviewing BC, so people gave me some good questions to ask you here. And I know you're busy with time, so I don't want to take too much of your time. But before we get to the fan questions, I wanted to ask you about, because I said I'm good friends with Jeff Richards. Now, I know you and Jeff Richards to be acquaintances, maybe friends. Ran into each other a couple times. And Jeff did an impression of you at some sort of beach party or something.
Right. Well, he
And I was
did
wondering
one.
if you could tell that story and if you could do your impression of Jeff doing an impression of you.
I'm going to say no to both, but I'll tell you this much about Jeff. The first time I met him was at a swimming pool party,
Uh-huh.
and I had a couple of again, hot dogs. I had a couple of Chicago style hot dogs, and it was early in the morning. It was 9 a.m. in the morning, and I came up to him and I said, "Here, have a hot dog." And I didn't exchange names or anything like that. And then he said, I don't eat hot dogs this early." So he had a bit of an attitude, and that's the tranquilicism that you find when you're backing up. You're putting your car back into your parking spot. Look both ways, but also look behind you.
Yeah. What now? Let me ask you this: as a point of contention for a lot of people, what do you think is on a Chicago hot dog? Because if you might say some bullshit, I'm right outside Chicago. There's only really one answer.
Well, the first thing that's on a Chicago hot dog is a weenie.
Yep, you got to have the dog. Yeah.
Yeah, flesh colored,
Well, we're not to get into all that, but yeah.
long.
Uh huh.
I mean, depending upon what you order, but a foot long is, it's pretty long.
How big?
How big? Long. That's how big.
Uh huh. And then what else goes on it?
Whatever you want. I mean, once you got the wiener on there, I mean, there's nothing else you need. But even in the bun, you don't need the bun. And
So
after you
Chicago
eat the
hot dog to
wiener,
you is just a wiener.
no, no, no. If you want to put it, you get the peppers on there. You put the mustard, ketchup.
No, you're already out. You lost with the ketchup. But maybe that's why Jeff wouldn't eat it. Maybe you sold it as a Chicago dog, and he saw the ketchup and he goes, "There's something suspicious. Something's awry because you don't put ketchup on a Chicago dog." Hey, Busey, that's
Is that what you're trying to do? Put me in the corner by the
I'm not
drinking
trying to put
fountain?
you in the corner. I was just one. I think the fans really would like to see Gary Busey do his impression of Jeff Richards trying to do an impression.
I'm Gary Busey. I played Bear Bryant in a movie called Bear, and I remember doing him. It was like, "We ain't going outside anymore if we lose another game." And they didn't lose another game. They won all the games. If you've seen the movie, you'll see the actual prowess of the character. And I remember getting into shape for that. I was eating Zulu rings. Zulu rings are those little ketchup rings. You said ketchup, but they are actually sugar ketchup in a long tube, and you don't suck it out. You bite it off, and it's really nice candy because you don't have to eat it all at once. You can
Yeah.
just kind of, and you don't feel the pressure to eat it all at once, like your brother or sister's going to come around the corner and take it away from you. So, so I played Bear, and I remember Buddy Holly was good, Under Siege, and there were a lot of different movies that were special for me, uh, and they were chapters in my life. Some chapters I wish. I mean, Buddy Holly. I did 5 movies before that. I was tight and ready to go. My ankles were ready. They were swollen as they could get. And I remember going into that movie, and you had to play guitar. You had to play guitar. They said you got to play guitar. I said I play guitar, and I'll show you how to play guitar. And so I played guitar, and I got the movie, and I was the only thing that I couldn't really decipher from in my own expeditions was the frequency. Again, back to frequency. It was the frequency of being able to figure out which lines I was going to do at what time because there were it was a fast movie and it happened almost overnight. It was almost 2 nights of shooting for Buddy Holly.
The whole movie was just 2 nights of shooting.
It felt like 5.5 weeks, or maybe even felt like 6.5 weeks, or maybe even felt like 7.5 weeks. I don't know, give or take a half a week. Yeah, it was 2 days, as far as I remember.
I didn't mean to laugh at that. I'm sorry. Now, we're talking about your illustrious movie career. Now, I have a question for you about some of your films. I was going through your filmography, I guess as they call it. Here's some of the movie titles that you've worked on in the years. Hot Boys, spelled with a Z. That was in 1999. Angels, Hard as They Come, 1971.
Harry Spencer, producer. Gary Galantine, the district attorney. That movie was put together, I think, in the beginning part of the early stages of financing. Someone was wearing some sort of a chicken outfit, and I remember just being very dazed and confused because I was just at that point I kind of spearheaded the vodka dynasty of my own jurisdiction, and I was drinking quite a bit and quite a bit of vodka.
Right. Which, that makes a lot of sense. Here's some more titles, and I'll run these by, but I've noticed a lot of your earlier films, a lot of them do sound, coincidentally, like pornographic titles, film titles. Angels, Hard as They Come, Straight Time from 1978, Piranha 3 Double D, not 3D, 3 Double D, that was 2012, one of your more recent films. Dirty Little Billy, 1972, the year I was born. I'll read a film title, and you just go, hey, here's what I remember from that. Because you have so many films, you must only have short little memories from those.
Well, I have whatever I have. I have whatever God has allowed me to find in this freedom of whatever it is. I mean, I was looking for arrowheads one time. I was out in Goose Creek, and we were looking for arrowheads. And my buddy Billy, same, not the dirty Billy. This guy was not dirty, and he was saying to me, if you look for cow heads, you'll find arrowheads. And I said, that's just something else, isn't it? So I followed that, and I found a cow head, and underneath it I found an arrowhead. So I believe in anything and everything combined and multiplied and divided by, etc.
Do you think that's from the Indians shooting the cow with an arrow right in the old head there?
I feel like I'm being backed up against the wall. I feel like I'm being backed up against the wall. I don't have the details.
Okay.
I don't have the. I don't want you
to feel backed against the wall here, Gary. I just kind of just following what you're saying here, and I was just trying to see. What about the movie Hex, 1973? What do you remember about that experience?
I remember it being laborsome, intensive. Pretty much anything where I have to move, I find that to be a jarring experience.
Sure.
I don't remember that movie. I don't even heard of it.
Fuck. Yeah. Well, you're gonna have a couple of these. What about Hot Boys? Now, Hot Boys was spelled with a Z.
Hot Boys was something I did, and I needed the money, but in more ways than one. There were scenes that were deleted from there that I'm very glad that they were deleted from there.
What were those scenes? Do you remember any of the little bloopers, outtakes, or
I'm gonna
stuff that just didn't make fit the linear script?
I don't know what the word linear means, but let me just say this. I fit the script.
Yeah.
I look good at that time, and I still look pretty good, and not what I want to look like always, but I know that my likeness is in the likeness of me, my divine spirit. So you can have a Diet Coke or a Coca-Cola. That's what Mahatma Gandhi said. He said you could have Diet Coke, but why?
He said that to you personally, or that was just like a rumor?
Said that to someone that I know.
Oh, that's pretty interesting. I wonder what Diet Coke would have to say about that.
I don't think it's interesting at all.
Yeah. Really? You don't? What about Under Siege? What was your experience with Steven Seagal?
Better to be under something than not under anything.
Under contract.
Under Siege. Let's just say, Steven, I don't want to say anything bad about Steven. Let's just say some things you don't want to talk about is better because that's just a more honorable way to be. And he used to take my Zagnut bars. I had my own stash of Zagnut bars. I'd hide them in different places, in different scenery. And he would always find them, and he would always take them away from me. Now, I never saw him do it. I don't have video of him doing it, but I know that he did it, I just can't prove it. Can't prove it. Can't prove it.
You can't prove it. And then, of course, one of your most popular films, the Lethal Weapon series. You got to have fight scenes with Mel Gibson. That really puts you on the superstar stardom map.
Boring. Do another question. Do something that you want to do. Say something you want to say. You don't have to do this for your own vanity. You can do this for someone in eternal power.
Okay, then let's get to some of the fan questions here, because here's some good ones. Are you familiar with Fuck, Marry, Kill? I'm going to give you 3 people, and one of them you have to fuck only once. One of them you have to kill immediately, and the other one you have to marry, and that's who you would be married to. Are you familiar with this game, sir?
I've already forgot what the different things are. How am I supposed to remember what all the different things are?
It's only 3 things, buddy. Fuck, marry, kill.
I'm not your buddy.
Repeat them back to me.
Fuck, marry yourself.
Close enough.
Fuck yourself. Fuck yourself twice. How about that? No, go
Okay.
ahead. Give it to me. Give it
Here's
to
your
me. I
first.
know what it is. I'm
Here's
just
your
fucking
first
with
one.
you.
Kate Upton,
Fuck.
supermodel Kate Upton, Elon Musk, and Secretary at the Horse.
In that order. Fuck, Mary, kill. In that order.
You'd fuck Elon Musk, you'd marry Kate Upton, and then you'd kill the horse.
Just because you'd get a better sentence if it was just a horse. It all had to do with the
Okay,
sentencing.
there's no sentencing. There's no murdering if that doesn't change your answer or anything like that.
I would go for Elon Musk because I know what it means to have, not personally, but I know what it means to have a great deal of money. I have had a great deal of money at one time. I would benefit from knowing someone that knew how and continues to know how to move around money and make money, etc.
Sure. So is Elon Musk you would then marry? Is that what you're saying?
You know, your screen, I can only see your face so much, and I can't tell if you're fucking with me. But if you are fucking with me, by the grace of God and the eternal spirit and those in the wall and those beyond,
Yeah.
I see your face. I see your gratitude. I see your dust and into a splatitude.
Okay. Then great. The next one. Here's the next one. This is a good one because this one kind of involves your career in a lot of ways. Buddy Holly, Mel Gibson, Ditto Kiddo.
Are we doing the
Fuck, marry, kill.
fuck, marry, kill?
Buddy Holly, Mel Gibson.
In that order again.
You would
Honestly.
kill Ditto Kiddo?
No, I just happened to fall in that order. You know, this is what happened. I remember I was hanging out with Morton Jenny. Do you remember the ice skater and the actor Morton
Sure.
Jenny?
Yeah, of course.
And he had this attitude because he said if you get on ice and you don't have the right spirit, it'll eat you alive. But on the other hand, if you do have the spirit, you'll become too cocky and it'll eat you alive. So this is a postcard to the person that you love most, and what would you say to that person? That's this is the divine. This is the overzealous. This is the person that bows on one's knee and he paints the roof, and there's this periscope and an angel, and it's a paradoxical freedom. You're not going to say anything, but I'm going to continue. It's a paradoxical freedom, and it's up against the wall.
Right. Now, can I ask you a personal question after all this? I mean, sure, the Hollywood hubbub and all this crazy stuff we're talking about, but the real Gary Busey. When you talk to maybe reach out to some people. In 1988, I believe somewhere around there, you had a really bad motorcycle accident where you weren't wearing a helmet and you experienced what they described as extreme brain damage, which has troubled you ever since.
Well, what about a cherry Coke? A cherry Coke at 7-Eleven? That's not extreme. Things
really.
are extreme all the time. Look at the purple, the color purple. A child's marker. It's so purple. That hasn't always been the case. 10 years ago, these markers weren't so purple, but now they're purple. Now they're really, really fucking purple, and it's alarming to me, and it's also enchanting to me to see the deep blue sea inside. You know this. Give me another Buseyism.
Faith.
Faith. I don't know that one. That one I take it granted because I do, focus.
What about Lord? What about Lord? Isn't that,
Lord.
you gotta have a little.
Leave me or ricochet. Damn.
There's no M. There's not really there's no leave me. Leave or ricochet.
You want to take me apart? Take me apart. You've done it all the interview. You take me apart.
I have not been taken.
That's why I don't bungee cord. That's why I don't bungee cord. It's too dangerous. It's not. It's you could pop your eyeballs out. But if you go off, jump off a bridge or whatever, I mean that's the same thing as bungee. Like if you jump off like a an airplane to jump off with a
Parachute?
parachute. Ooh, let me try faith again.
Yeah, try faith. I think you might have something there. Practically no.
Fast.
Fast. That's it. That's good. You're on to something fast.
I'm not going to do it now.
Why? You were so close.
Because I don't want to.
Fast.
It's not up to me to figure it out. It's not up to me to figure you out.
It's a Buseyism. Of course, it's up to you to
It's
figure out.
Buseyism, but you're throwing ones that aren't Buseyisms. I haven't done them before. I don't know faith. I don't know log. I don't know arrow or Winnebago or anything. I can't just do it. The W sound falls deaf on me anyways because I just don't. I don't respond to the letter W.
Jeff texted me earlier and said, "Get his Buseyisms going. Tell him faith is fantastic adventures and trusting him." He'll remember that.
This is why I'm glad that you're interviewing me and not him. I'm not. I'm less than impressed. I'm less than avast. I'm taken in jest. I'm put to the test. I'm smart.
Prove it.
Prove it. PROVE. Prove it. IT.
Yeah, that's pretty smart.
Spelled them real fast.
Now let's talk about your Cable Ace Award.
Let's talk about buttered sausage. Talk about buttered sausage, where it comes from, what it does, why is it doing what it's doing. Get it out of my face. What about buttered sausage?
That's not your jam. It's not your thing. You don't like it?
It's not my jam. I don't buy jam. I buy honey, and I kiss it on the lips.
You got a Cable Ace Award in 1987.
I got a lot of things. I got a car stereo. It's not mine. I don't know where it came from. I used to steal car stereos after Buddy Holly for a summer because I just wanted to feel weird. And I wanted something because I wanted the thrill. I wanted the wonderful excitement of being nominated for an Oscar and not winning an Oscar, but not feeling too bad about that because I was nominated for an Oscar.
And you had a Cable Ace Award.
I had a lot of different things. I had a Clockwork Orange. How about Clockwork not orange? Some other color.
Clockwork Purple. With apparently there's a purplification of markers in America that you seem to be privy to. Is there any film that you wish you either you auditioned for it and you didn't get it, or you were up against somebody else and they got it, or you never were auditioning for it, but you go, God damn, Gary Busey would have killed that part right there?
Nothing, honestly, nothing. There's nothing that I've done that I wish I didn't do, and there was nothing that I haven't done that I wish I didn't. Well, Caddyshack was something that I wanted to do, but it just wasn't. The timing wasn't right. And
which part?
Any part. And all these movies they're non sequiturs. I mean, you could put yourself in anything. Yeah. You could put yourself in anything with a diamond ring, with a low-case thing.
Can we see maybe a little Caddyshack from Gary Busey right now? Do you remember any of the lines or any of the parts of the?
Here's your ball. We got a bit of a gopher problem here. I'm probably going to blow the whole course up, but just in case I don't, what would you pay me on a regular basis?
I don't know if those are the exact words.
I don't even know if you're the interviewer. It felt moist and weird in here, almost like a lion's den.
I'd like to actually get a couple more Gary Buseys, like in maybe some other famous movies. How about Gary Busey as Luke Skywalker? Maybe any Star Wars.
Luke, character. I'm not your father. I'm someone else's father. Maybe I'm your father. I don't know. Give me a break. I'll do a test. See, that's not. I said I'm in the outer space. I'm Gary Busey. I mean, I'm Luke Skywalker. I can play any of the characters, even Princess Leia. I'm Princess Leia. Go give me a towel. I spilled something, because she wouldn't clean it up.
Sure. I think you would have been an excellent Chewbacca. What about Chewbacca?
Normally, I am Chewbacca, thanks to the lady Epilady.
Jesus Christ. What other
I still go by the Epilady. Can you believe something like the Epilady? It's something else, isn't it? I mean, nothing you could talk about right
Is,
here, but I don't want to get sued. But
is that still a thing?
that's why I don't want to get sued. I don't know. It could
Well,
be.
maybe we could spin this into something positive because I know for a fact that you've done a lot of voiceover work. The new Chevy Blazer. You were the Chevy guy for a while.
The new
You have
Chevy
such an iconic
Blazer.
voice. How about we do an Epilady voiceover audition right now? Gary Busey, take one.
The new Epilady Blade. The Razor. It's a race blazers. This is. I need more than one take.
That's pretty good. No,
I
no,
told you
keep it
I'm
going.
jet lagged.
We're
I
rolling.
have
I'm
I
sure
have
you're
a
jet
I have
lagged.
a I have a fear and a consciousness of flying. Even when I don't fly, I feel that I've flown. And today I did an all nighter.
So you're
That's
jet
funny.
lagged after not even being on a flight. Just the thought of flying causes you severe extreme jet lag.
It's not just a thought. It's an overnight thing. It's like literally I'm sleeping and it's like I'm clutching baggage when I'm in bed. But it turns out I'm clutching. My pool boy and my chef.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
that's not true. That's a joke.
Oh,
It
no
used
wonder
to
how
be the
they how
case
they.
before I was married. I enjoyed lots of different things, but now I'm married and I got a bunch of kids, and
Four.
so I used to enjoy cigar bars, but I don't go to them very often anymore because I just don't know where the cigars have been. So even the Cuban ones, it's not exact.
Let's try another couple more takes of that Epilady. That was sounding good. The new Epilady.
The new Epilady, the
Yeah.
new Epilady razor. Get one today.
Let's try to sandwich that down a little bit. Let's kind of take out that
Listen, I
little.
don't. I'm not sandwich. The only thing I'm going to sandwich down is an actual sandwich. I got to eat something. My stomach is hurting. The stomach is hurting.
Your stomach's what?
My stomach is hurting. Can you not hear my language? It's called English.
Yeah, it just kind of.
Process it. Find it. Put it in your head. Put it in your thinking cap.
Here comes another fuck Mary kill from the fans here.
I'm not doing
Oprah.
another one. I'm not talking about Oprah. Last thing I want to do is talk about Oprah on the internet. You think I'm stupid?
Well, let's just get
Stupid?
it out and let's see if it just triggers anything for a
No,
fuck
I'm
Mary.
getting off. Somebody said I was only doing 30 minutes, and now we're past 30 minutes.
I don't
So
think
I'm
we are
getting
yet.
off.
Um,
Last questions. You have one more question.
okay, let me make this one count then. I don't know about that. Well, can I give you 5 minutes here? Okay, real quick. I have a question about your education. You went to, first of all,
Boring, boring, boring,
you
boring,
went to Pittsburgh
boring.
State University in the city of Pittsburgh, Kansas,
Played football there too.
which is where you played football. Then you got a knee injury. Then you went to Oklahoma State on to study theater. Never got a degree in any one of those schools. But Oklahoma State had you come back and speak to the football team, give them a little pep speech before the game.
Almost didn't make it to that either. I was on a Greyhound bus headed for a wheat factory. I was trying to go and meet my buddy JoJo Stormcloud. And as we were coming through the peak and as we were entering the off ramp, someone was coming onto the off ramp, north south, Modius Christi, backwards. Here he comes, and we just almost went off the road. So we got a ride from a butcher. I think it was. JoJo Stormcloud's friend had a butcher nearby. Somebody showed up, and we got in some sort of dilapidated Eddie and the Cruisers kind of get up, and we were there, but we almost missed part of it, and that's because the indifference in the ne'er do well nation and the people that were trying to stop this from happening, the protests that were happening, and the people that were involved in this were not people at all. They were lost, and they were vacant, and they were left to be pushed into a hall closet or something.
And what was that pep speech that you finally gave to the team? What did you tell Oklahoma State as an ex-football player and a
I
big guy
said,
that knows?
look, you guys, this isn't a lizard factory. This is real Barterman James kind of thing. I said, you could be a fence truck or you could be a station wagon, and either one you need a key, and either one you're going to have to pay some sort of some sort of fee on. you know, if you're going to have any kind of car is going to take something DMV, you're going to have to get an oil check or you know, get the training wheels off of the car, and you know,
And that fired the team right back up for the game.
it
Big game.
fired. Well, many people on the team were fired. Let's just say that.
Ooh,
I remember my buddy Jesus Cristo, um,
fired.
and that was his God given name. His father's name was O. He had his name legally changed to the letter O and the last name to the letter O. And he was considered a prophet at that time, and he was, I think, for the people that Barnum, I would say the Barnum and Jay's people, and then also the Seven Up factories that were just unloaded. I mean, they would dump an entire Seven Up factory out of the back of a truck, and people were expected to move it. This was the ingenuity that was happening at the time.
Do you still ride motorcycles? That's one of the last questions. I know you have to go
I
here,
do,
but
I do. I still ride motorcycles, but they're not the kind you think. They're little electric ones that little toddlers would use. I enjoy, I enjoy just the little tiny ones. It gets me to stretch my groin, if nothing else, because I gotta put the legs way up
yeah, you
in the
gotta have your
seat,
knees
so
up to your shoulders
knees gotta
almost.
be, and you don't go very far.
Do
It's
you
not
wear a
something
helmet?
I'm wearing
You
a
wear a
helmet
helmet?
right now, a helmet of God, the helmet of our Lord. I'm bounty, and you are the sea, and I'll take you with me, you and me, 1, 2, 3. This is what they were. This is what they were saying. This is what the giraffe said when he talked to me. I gotta go. I'm getting a phone call. I gotta take this phone
Well,
call.
Gary Busey, it's been a pleasure. Jeff
Yeah.
Richards, thank you for having me fill in, and God bless you, Busey.
God bless you. Merry Christmas. See you
Merry
next
Christmas.
year.
Merry Christmas to you too, sir.